In the ever-rotating carousel of basketball greatness, there's a constant flux of players vying for the top spot. You've got your LeBrons, your Durants, your Currys, legends in their own right. But nestled in the sea of basketball brilliance, there's a name that's been making waves: Luka Doncic. Now, let's get one thing straight. Luka's rise to prominence wasn't overnight. It wasn't a flash in the pan. It was a slow burn, a gradual ascent to superstardom that left pundits scratching their heads and ESPN eating their words. First off, let's talk about Jalen Brunson. Yeah, you heard me right. Before Luka was even a blip on the NBA radar, there was Brunson, quietly carving out his place in the league. And believe it or not, there were some folks out there who thought Brunson deserved the spotlight more than Luka. Crazy, right? But hey, basketball is a team sport, and Brunson was holding it down for the Mavericks.
But upon reflection, I definitely thought that Jalen Brunson deserved to be first team.
But then there's Luka. Oh, sweet Luka. The man's got moves for days. Step back threes? Check. No-look dimes? Check. Mean mugs that strike fear into the hearts of defenders? Double check. When Luka steps onto the court, you know you're in for a show. And let's not forget Jayson Tatum. The man's a bona fide superstar, no doubt about it. But when it comes to showing up in big games, Luka's got him beat. Sorry, Tatum fans, but numbers don't lie. When the pressure's on, Luka shines brightest. Now, I get it. If you're not a die-hard Mavericks fan, you might not fully appreciate the Luka phenomenon. But let me break it down for you. Over the past month, Luka has been putting on an absolute clinic. From the first round of the conference finals to the nail-biting moments of crunch time, Luka has been there, answering the call time and time again. And here's the kicker. When you pair Luka up with a certain someone named Kyrie Irving, magic happens. I'm talking about a dynamic duo that strikes fear into the hearts of opponents. Kyrie's handles combined with Luka's court vision, it's a recipe for basketball greatness. So, to all the doubters out there, the naysayers, the ESPN analysts who wrote off Luka Doncic as just another hyped-up prospect, I've got one thing to say. You were wrong. Dead wrong. Luka isn't just living up to the hype, he's exceeding it. In the grand scheme of basketball history, Luka's story is still being written. But one thing's for sure, every time ESPN doubted him, every time they wrote him off, Luka proved them wrong. And he's only just getting started. So buckle up, basketball fans. The Luka Doncic show is just getting started, and it's going to be one heck of a ride. The narrative surrounding Luka Doncic has taken a swift turn in under 8 months. Suddenly, there's a huge question mark hanging over him. Not about his game, but about his leadership. Can he galvanize the troops, maximize their potential, and lead them to victory? It wasn't long ago that the doubts were swirling around Luka, especially towards the end of the 2023 season. But this year's playoff run? Well, it's a massive middle finger to all those ESPN talking heads. Remember back in January? Dallas was teetering on the edge of being a playoff team, even a playing tournament team. And who was getting the blame? You guessed it, Luka Doncic. Stephen A. Smith was quick to point fingers, questioning Luka's leadership and even blaming him for not securing Brunson's return to the team in 2022. But wait, do we really hold Luka responsible for the front office's decisions? And was Kyrie really a better option? It's all a bit much, don't you think? Now let's fast forward to this year's finals, Dallas versus Boston. It's the showdown we've all been waiting for. But 8 months ago, Stephen A. Smith was already debating between Luka and Tatum, trying to figure out who was the better player. Spoiler alert, he picked Tatum. And why? Because he's seen Tatum drop 46 points in a closeout playoff game, handle his business in Game 7s, and lead his team to 5 conference championship games. It's clear that Stephen A. Smith's disdain for Luka Doncic knows no bounds. At worst, Luka Doncic is a top 2 player in the league, and some argue he's the best in the world right now. Meanwhile, Tatum, in my view, is a Tier 2 superstar, hovering around the top 5 or 6 range, which is still fantastic, but let's be real. He's not on Luka Doncic's level, at least not yet. Now, let's address Stephen A. Smith's arguments. First, he points to Tatum's height, claiming that being 6'9" automatically puts him ahead. But seriously, if your first argument is about someone's height, it's time to reassess. Luka Doncic is 6'7", not exactly short. And let's not forget, he plays even bigger than his height suggests. He's not afraid of physicality, driving to the basket and drawing fouls. Tatum, on the other hand, can sometimes settle for jump shots and shy away from the physical game. Next, Stephen A. Smith talks about Tatum's clutch performances in big games. Sure, Tatum has had some memorable moments, but comparing him to Luka Doncic in clutch situations is setting him up for failure. Let's rewind to Luka's second NBA game, Game 4 against the Clippers. Mavericks down 2-1. What does Luka do? drops 43 points, grabs 17 boards, dishes out 13 assists, all while shooting 58% from the field. Need I say more? Stephen A. Smith completely overlooked the undeniable chemistry and success of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. When he listed his top 5 duos in the NBA, Kyrie and Luka were nowhere to be found. Instead, he chose pairs based on individual talent or defensive prowess. But here's the thing. Basketball is a team sport, and chemistry matters. Kyrie and Luka have proven that by overcoming obstacles and elevating themselves as one of the best duos in the league. Let's look at the postseason. While other duos struggled or didn't even play together due to injuries or other factors, Kyrie and Luka were out there winning games and series. In the postseason alone, Kyrie and Luka have achieved more success than all the other duos Stephen A. Smith mentioned combined. It's a testament to their skill, their teamwork, and their ability to perform when it matters most. The best defensive pairings in the league couldn't even come close to the offensive firepower and defensive tenacity that Kyrie and Luka bring to the table. In fact, in the past 5 seasons, Kyrie and Luka have consistently outperformed George and Leonard in terms of playoff scoring, showing their dominance on the offensive end. And let's not forget about their defensive improvements. Both Kyrie and Luka have stepped up their defensive game, playing the best defense of their careers in this year's playoffs. They've shown the ability to lock down opponents and make crucial stops when it matters most. So, while Stephen A. Smith may have taken a shot at their defensive abilities, the numbers don't lie. Kyrie and Luka have proven themselves to be a formidable duo on both ends of the court, surpassing even some of the most heralded defensive pairings in recent NBA history. Luka Doncic continues to defy expectations and silence the doubters, showcasing his brilliance on the court and leading the Dallas Mavericks to new heights. Throughout the 2024 season, he has consistently proven ESPN wrong, particularly in the playoffs, where he and Kyrie Irving form one of the most dynamic duos in the league. Their partnership is reminiscent of the synergy between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, with Luka's playmaking prowess and Kyrie's scoring ability complementing each other perfectly. In fact, Luka's first-half scoring dominance, coupled with Kyrie's clutch performances in the second half, make them a nightmare for opposing defenses. Late in games, they emerged as the 2 best closers and fourth-quarter performers, elevating the Mavericks to victory time and time again. Their chemistry and cohesion on the court defy the typical your turn, my turn dynamic of other duos, making them a lethal combination that opponents struggle to contain. As Luka continues to excel and lead his team to success, it's clear that his impact extends far beyond just his individual performance. He is rewriting the narrative surrounding his leadership and ability to galvanize his teammates, proving that he belongs among the NBA's elite. So here's to Luka Doncic, the perennial underdog who continues to prove the doubters wrong and inspire basketball fans around the world. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section.